In 2002, I was in a fatality car accident. I was in a coma and on life support. We were going over Blewett Pass, hit black ice. I was reported dead at the scene. I was in a coma and on life support. They told my parents I would be a vegetable the rest of my life and I would never be able to walk and talk again. I was 15 years old and I was like a 3 to 5 year old in a 15-year-old body. I had to relearn how to walk and talk. Being at the Good Samaritan Brain Trauma Center, I don't remember a lot of it. I remember learning how to walk here and there. I started to experience severe back pain, which then led me to getting into hardcore pain management, and that's kind of where my addiction all started. Very quickly, I was introduced to heroin. I was doing lots of criminal activity to support my addiction. My life had very quickly become unmanageable. But the addict in me had myself thinking that I had it under control. My finances were under control. I had a vehicle. I had a house. I had a roof over my head. And at that time, I thought it was okay, and I thought that everything was going to be all right. I was stealing stuff from stores. I was doing whatever I could to get the money, to get the drugs. And before I knew it, I was almost more addicted to the lifestyle than even the drugs. I was almost like a chameleon. Everywhere I went, I did what I had to do to fit in. If I was around family, I was a family member. When I was, running with the dope game, I was the top drug dealer. And with that, I very quickly began to lose myself. I never knew what it was like to have a real friend. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted in life. I had no self-esteem. I didn't care about myself. I didn't care about my family. I didn't care about anybody besides getting money, getting dope, and getting high. I had ended up being part of 2 gas station robberies at gunpoint. 4 days after the crime was committed, they arrested me, put me in maximum security in Thurston County Jail. Full of fear and anxiety and guilt and shame and denial and resentments, I realized that I was meant to be there, and if I wasn't behind bars, there was a good chance I was going to end up dead. I knew that I had so much more to live for than to be locked up. I want to give back. I want to be a part of the community. I want to get involved as much as I can. My last 6 months was when I got clean and sober. I hit an NA meeting for the first time in my life, and from that day moving forward, I have remained clean and sober. I got super involved with some reentry programs, and I had like this lifelong dream to use my lived experience to be there to help other people. And I knew that I had the potential to do it, but I just didn't know how to get there. So I had gotten out and I had all the, I was like, I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to become a chemical dependency professional. I got released in July of 2016 and I relocated. I didn't know anybody. And I knew that I was off to a fresh start and I was going to do everything I could to better my life. So I began to get super involved with Celebrate Recovery. I got a job 5 days after I was out at the Sweet River Bakery. I went back to school and got my certified peer counselor certificate, and I was part of the starting of the Central Washington Recovery Coalition, and I'm currently the president of Okanagan County. A lot of individuals that I work with, I can relate to them and what they're going through. One of the hardest things that I see is isolation, and so, always be open to reach out and ask for help and find somebody that you can associate with who is open and honest and willing, who's not going to judge you. I learned not to fear how to reach out and to ask for help. You know, in the past, I was afraid to ask for help. And I think a lot of that was because of the pride and ego. So when I learned that it's okay to reach out and to, whether it be to talk to somebody, to vent to somebody, to ask for advice, and, you know, being able to open up and become open-minded and willing and honest, and being able to find yourself and who you truly are and what you are truly capable of becoming. That's been the biggest part of getting me where I am today. It's like a whole new world to me. It takes only 7 seconds to reach out and tell your story.